You've got to understand something right now. The grind you're in today is not punishment. It's preparation. The sweat, the tears, the long nights when nobody claps for you. That's the soil where greatness grows. Everybody wants to shine in 2026. Everybody wants to win. But very few are willing to dig through the dirt of 2025 to earn it. The world sees the success, but it never sees the sacrifice. They'll see your light later, but right now, you're building in the dark. You can't pray for elevation and refuse the process. You can't ask God for more and run from the work that develops the character to handle it. The grind you do when no one's watching, that's the grind that defines your destiny. You've got dreams? Good. But dreams without discipline are just decorations on an empty life. The question is not whether you want success, it's whether you're willing to become the kind of person success requires. See, the pain you're feeling right now is not meant to break you, it's meant to shape you. It's molding your patience, testing your faith, and teaching your spirit how to endure. You can't build a palace on weak foundations, and you can't build a legacy without hard work. Every minute you invest today is building your future. Every early morning, every sacrifice, every time you say a no to comfort, heaven takes note. This season you're in, it might feel heavy, but that pressure is producing power. That struggle is your training ground. You might not see the results now, but the world will see the glow later. When 2026 comes, those who stay faithful to the grind will walk into rooms that others only dreamed of. And I'm telling you right now, if you stay focused, consistent, and faithful to the process, your work will speak for you. Your effort will testify. Your results will shine brighter than any spotlight ever could. Because success doesn't come to those who wish for it. It comes to those who work when the feeling fades. It comes to those who stay when others quit. It comes to those who believe that what they're doing today will echo in their tomorrow. So stop complaining about how hard it is and start thanking God that you're still in the fight. Because if you're still working, it means you're still becoming. It means you're still becoming. This is your moment to dig deeper, push harder, and believe stronger. Your future is being built right now, not by your words, but by your work. And one day soon, when the light hits your life, everyone will finally understand why you refuse to give up. The unseen work builds the visible success. That's the truth most people never understand. Everybody wants the light, but nobody wants the labor that creates it. You see the trophy, but you don't see the training. You see the stage, but you don't see the struggle behind it. People want the shine, but they don't want the solitude. The unseen work, the grind in the dark, the quiet mornings, the private battles. That's where greatness is born. That's where destiny is carved. You can't expect to reap in public what you haven't sown in private. You can't stand in the spotlight if you've never been faithful in the shadows. When David was chosen to be king, he wasn't on the battlefield. He wasn't in the palace. He was out in the fields tending sheep, doing work nobody saw and nobody celebrated, but God saw and nobody celebrated. God saw the consistency, the faithfulness, the discipline. And when the time came, the same God who watched his private obedience brought in public favor. Don't miss that. The work you're doing right now, when no one's clapping, when no one's posting about you, when nobody even knows your name, that's the work that heaven is counting. The world might not be watching, but God is, and he's the one who promotes. See, the problem with most people is they only work hard when somebody's watching. They grind when the camera's on, but the moment the lights go off, so does their fire. But real success, the kind that lasts, is built when you do it even when nobody's there to witness it. You've got to get to a place where your work ethic is driven by purpose, not applause. You've got to grind, mission, not to mention. If all you want is recognition, you'll burn out when the world doesn't clap. But if you're working because you were called to it if you're working because you know this is your assignment, then you won't need validation. You'll already be full. Some of you are frustrated because you don't see results yet. You're praying, you're pushing, you're sacrificing, and it feels like nothing's changing. But what you don't realize is that roots grow before fruits show. A seed doesn't sprout overnight. It stays underground, unseen for a season. But in that hidden place is developing strength. Strength to survive storms, strength to hold up the blessing that's coming. And that's exactly what's happening with you right now. You're in that underground season, that unseen work season. It's not punishment, It's not punishment, it's preparation. God's not denying you, he's developing you. Because if he gave you the light too early, it would blind you. You gotta learn to worship in the waiting. You've gotta learn to be excellent in obscurity. You've gotta learn to build when nobody's watching, to push when nobody's praising, to stay consistent when you feel invisible. Because your reward isn't coming from people, it's coming from purpose. The Bible says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters. That means every time you show up early, every time you give your best, every time you do right, even when no one would know if you didn't. Heaven is recording it. Let me tell you something, the world might not give you credit, but God will never forget. You might feel like nobody notices your effort, but the one who called you notices everything. That's why you can't quit. That's why you can't get weary in well-doing. Because in due season, you will reap if you faint not. In due season doesn't mean tomorrow or next week, or even this year. Due season means when you're ready, when your character matches your calling, when your spirit is strong enough to handle the blessing without breaking under it. So don't despise your small beginnings. Don't get discouraged by slow progress. Every step you take in faith, every hour you spend perfecting your craft, every moment you choose discipline over distraction, it's all adding up. The unseen hours are shaping you into the kind of person who won't just achieve success, but sustain it. Because God doesn't just want you to have the light. He wants you to be the light. And that takes refinement. That takes repetition. That takes resistance. You've got to be okay being unseen right now. You've got to be okay not getting credit. Because when the season shifts, when the time comes, you won't need to announce yourself. Your results will. The same people who overlooked you will be the ones who can't stop talking about you. But when that happens, you'll know deep in your soul, it wasn't luck, it wasn't chance, it wasn't a shortcut. It was the unseen work. It was the nights you stayed faithful. It was the days you pushed through. It was every tear, every prayer, every sacrifice nobody else saw. So keep working in silence. Keep sowing in the dark, because the God who sees in secret is preparing to reward you in public. The unseen work builds the visible success, and that's the kind of foundation that no storm can ever shake. And the moment you realize that truth, you stop waiting for your breakthrough and start building it. You can't expect a harvest when you haven't planted any seeds. That's the truth too many people overlook when they say they want greatness, success, or transformation in 2026. Everybody wants the reward, but few are willing to endure the process. You can't talk about shining later if you're not sweating now. You can't demand the spotlight when you haven't fought through the dark nights. Every single great man or woman you admire today paid their dues in private long before the public ever knew their name. They worked when no one was watching, when no one clapped, when no one said to keep going. They built in silence because they understood one principle. Your results will always speak louder than your words. Let me tell you something. God honors diligence, not convenience, not convenience. Proverbs says, a lazy hands make a man poor, but diligent hands bring wealth. That's not just money. It's wealth and discipline, character and destiny. The hard work you do now, the effort you give when you feel unseen, that's what heaven notices. You think nobody cares that you're grinding? You think nobody's watching? God is. He's testing how faithful you are in the small things before he releases the big things. You can't expect to handle the weight of success if you're not consistent in the weight room of preparation. Listen, you got to stop praying for results and start working for them. You can't pray for a six-pack and still sleep till noon. You can't ask for promotion while running from responsibility. You can't talk about wanting more if you keep giving less. Faith without works is dead. It's not just a verse. It's a law. If you believe your future will shine in 2026, then your grind must burn in 2025. You got to show heavy. Show the world that your faith is backed by discipline. Discipline. The late nights, the early mornings, the sacrifices, the silence, all of it is fertilizer for your destiny. When you feel tired, that's not a signal to stop. It's a signal that something great is being built inside you. Diamonds are made under pressure. Gold is purified by fire, and purpose is proven through pain. The more it hurts right now, the more glory there will be later. You've got to stop running from the process. Stop looking for shortcuts. Stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. You can't copy their shine without carrying their struggle. You want 2026 to look different, then 2025 has to feel different. You must go through the grind that transforms your habits, your mindset and your discipline, and set and your discipline. There will be nights when you question yourself, mornings when you doubt your purpose, moments when quitting feels easier. But that's where champions are forged, in those invisible lonely moments. See, the crowd will only see your success story, but God sees your obedience story. And when he sees you pushing through fatigue, pressing through fear, enduring through rejection, he starts aligning everything in your favor. That's when doors begin to open, opportunities start to find you, and blessings chase you down. Because God rewards faithfulness, not flashes of effort. Too many people want to sprint toward destiny, but destiny is a marathon. It's not how fast you move, it's how long you can stay consistent. Can you keep showing up when the results are invisible? Can you keep giving 100% when it feels like nobody's clapping? Because that's what separates dreamers from doers. You've got to remember that the grind doesn't just build your future, it builds you. Every struggle is shaping your character. Every rejection is refining your patience. Every delay is developing your strength. I want you to picture the farmer in the field. He's sweating, plowing, breaking the ground, planting seeds, watering, sowing for months. Nothing happens. The field looks dead. People might laugh and say, oh, you're wasting your time. But the farmer knows something they don't. Growth happens underground before it ever appears above. That's you right now. Your dreams, your calling, your breakthrough, it's all developing underground. Don't abandon the field just because the sprout hasn't surfaced yet. Keep watering, keep believing, keep working. Your time is coming. The world doesn't reward those who start strong. It rewards those who stay strong. You have to be built for the long haul. You have to decide that no matter what comes, no matter who quits, you will not fold. You will not let distractions derail your discipline. You will not let fatigue steal your faith. You will rise every morning like a soldier, ready to fight for the life God promised you. Because the hard work you do now isn't just about success, it's about obedience, growth, and legacy. You've got to understand this. In the kingdom of purpose, effort is never wasted. Every tear you shed, every hour you grind, every moment you sacrifice, it all adds up. Heaven keeps the receipts. The sweat you pour today will turn into strength tomorrow. The discipline you build this year will become your divine advantage next year. So keep moving, keep working, keep believing. Because when 2026 arrives, you won't just shine, you'll blaze. You can't pray for a crown while refusing to carry the cross. If you want 2026 to look different, then your habits in 2025 must be unrecognizable compared to the ones that kept you stuck before. Discipline is not punishment, it's preparation. God isn't withholding blessings from you. He's waiting for you to become the kind of person who can handle them. The doors you've been praying for will not open until you're strong enough to walk through them. And that strength isn't built in comfort, it's built in consistency. You've got to understand that discipline is the bridge between your dream and your destiny. Too many people talk about wanting greatness, but keep living like mediocrity is acceptable. You say you want success, but you keep hitting the snooze button on your purpose. You say you want freedom, but you keep submitting to your excuses. That's not how this works. The world doesn't give you what you wish for. It gives you what you work for. And God doesn't reward intentions. He rewards execution. The Bible says, whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. That means how you handle your morning, your time, your mindset right now determines whether you're ready for more tomorrow. When I talk about hard work, I'm not talking about just grinding for a paycheck. I'm talking about grinding for your calling. I'm talking about showing up for the assignment God placed on your life. Some of you keep asking God for a new season, but they're not even faithful in this one. You keep saying, oh, Lord, I'm ready for my breakthrough, but you haven't yet broken through. You haven't yet broken through your laziness, your fear, or your distractions. You've got to master yourself before you can manage success. You've got to conquer your habits before you can carry your harvest. Discipline is the secret ingredient that separates dreamers from achievers, prayers from doers, and talkers from transformers. Let me keep it real. There will be days when you don't feel like it. There will be mornings when your motivation is gone, when your energy is low, when your body says, I can't. But discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It tells you what to do. That's why Paul said, I discipline my body like an athlete, training it to do what it should. You have to train your emotions, your thoughts, your spirit to obey your purpose. Because if your feelings are the driver, your destiny will always be the passenger. You've got to rise up even when it hurts, even when it's quiet, even when no one is cheering. The unseen hours build the unstoppable ones. Discipline is the language of success that the undisciplined will never understand. While others are sleeping, you're studying. While others are wasting time, you're investing it. While others are chasing validation, you're chasing vision. That's the difference between those who wish and those who win. Success is not about luck. It's about habits. It's about showing up every day with focus, purpose, and commitment. And let me tell you something. Discipline doesn't take talent. You don't need to be gifted to be consistent. You don't need to be the smartest to be faithful. You just need to decide that quitting is not an option. Every time you say no to temptation, you're saying yes to transformation. Every time you choose focus over comfort, you're declaring war on the old version of you. Every time you keep your promise to yourself, you're telling the world, I'm built different. And God honors that kind of obedience. He sees every act of discipline, every moment of restraint, every decision to keep going. You think it doesn't matter, but heaven is keeping score. The strength you're building now will carry you through storms you haven't even seen yet. Listen, the enemy doesn't fear your dreams. He fears your discipline because dreams are easy to have, but discipline is hard to keep. The devil knows if he can distract you, delay you, or drain your focus, he doesn't have to destroy you. You'll destroy yourself. That's why he comes after your consistency. That's why he whispers, take it easy, do it tomorrow. But you've got to shut that voice down. You've got to remind yourself, my future is worth fighting for. My family is worth the sacrifice. My purpose is worth the pain. There's a version of you that God sees. Stronger, wiser, more focused, more faithful. But you can't meet that version by staying where you are. You've got to go through the 5 disciplines. You've got to endure the process of transformation. You've got to let go of who you were so you can become who you're meant to be. Every repetition in the gym, every hour of study, every early morning, every night of sacrifice. It's all molding you into the weapon God designed you to be. You can't fake discipline. You can't post it. You can't buy it. You live it, and when 2026 comes, the ones who worked, who stayed, who believed will stand out. Because light always shines brightest after the dark. So stop asking, how long will it take? And start asking, how far can I go? Keep your head down, your faith up, and your focus locked in. Because the work you're doing now is not just shaping your next year. It's shaping your eternity. What you sow in discipline, you will reap in destiny. You can't expect to harvest greatness from seeds of laziness. You can't expect abundance when you keep planning inconsistency. Every action you take, every decision you make, every moment you waste, it's all producing fruit, whether you see it or not. That's why the word says, do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. You might fool people with your words, but you can't fool God with your work. If you're planning procrastination, don't be shocked when your field is empty. But if you're sowing sacrifice, commitment, and faith, get ready because a powerful harvest is on the way. Listen, the ground doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care about your last name, your background, or your excuses. It only responds to what you put in it. Some people keep asking why nothing is changing, but they haven't planted anything new. They keep repeating the same habits, expecting a different result. You can't sow fear and reap courage. You can't sow doubt and expect confidence. You can't sow distractions and expect direction. The soil of success only responds to intentional effort and faithful consistency. That's why 2025 matters. It's the year you plan what 2026 will reveal. See, too many people want the spotlight without going through the soil. They want the crap, but don't want the dirt under their nails. But real growth doesn't happen on the surface. It happens underground, in silence and darkness and discomfort. The seed doesn't complain about being buried because it knows it's being prepared. Some of you feel buried right now, buried in bills, buried in responsibilities, buried in setbacks. But hear me, you're not buried, you're planted. God is developing you in secret so he can display you in success. Don't rush the process. Don't dig up what God is still growing. The seed of your effort will always grow if you keep watering it with faith and work. Even when you don't see results, keep going. Even when it feels slow, stay consistent because delay is not denial. The farmer doesn't plant today and harvest tomorrow. He plants, waters, waits, and trusts. That's the formula. Plant, water, wait, trust. The problem is most people skip the wait and the trust. They quit too soon because the results are instant, but anything that grows fast dies fast. True success is rooted deep, and that kind of growth takes time. God is watching how you handle the planting season. Will you still show up when it's hard? Will you still push when no one's clapping? Will you still believe when you don't see the fruit yet? That's the test of real faith. Remember when Peter saw Jesus walking on water? He stepped out, but when he lost focus, he began to sink. Some of you started strong, but you lost sight of the vision. You let fear distract you from your assignment, but the same hand that lifted Peter will lift you if you call on him. Get your eyes back on the goal. Get your faith back in the fight. Because the harvest only comes to those who refuse to drown in doubt. You have to work like a farmer and pray like a warrior. Work in silence and let your results make the noise. When others are resting, you're planting. When others are talking, you're watering. When others are doubting, you're believing. And one day when the season shifts, they'll ask, how did you do it? And you'll tell them, I didn't quit when it was cold. I didn't stop when it was slow. I stayed faithful when it didn't make sense. That's the mindset that separates the blessed from the broken. And let me be real. Your harvest won't always come from the same place you planted. Sometimes you'll pour into people who never thank you, invest in dreams that seem dead, and fight battles that feel unfair. But don't let that stop you. The word says, let us not grow weary in doing good. For at the proper time, we will reap our harvest if we do not give up. That means your reward is guaranteed if you stay the course. You might not see it today, but it's already on its way. God doesn't forget faithful workers. When you look back at your life, the seasons that shaped you most weren't the easy one. They were the ones where you had to trust God when everything else fell apart. Those are the moments that built your strength, your faith, your grit. So don't despise the season you're in. Dominate it. Make it count. Because 2026 won't reward your intention. It will reward your investment. There's a reason diamonds are formed under pressure and gold is purified through fire. Your process is not punishment. It's preparation. You're being refined so you can shine without breaking. Every test you endure now is proof that something valuable is inside you. So stop complaining about the grind and start praising God for the growth. Because if you can stay faithful through the planting, 2026 will reveal our harvest so great, it'll make every tear worth it. Keep sowing, keep watering. Keep trusting, because the work you do now isn't just building your future, it's building your legacy.